slave. God is the master. I tell you, in 21, the slave is Jesus, and the master is God. And Jesus is our parent. If we take him as our parent, we must, what? Be a slave. Learn to be a slave. And a slave is one who sacrifices everything for others. Now, based upon these, you consider, especially the Apostle Paul, wasn't he a slave? I'm so glad that in most of the epistles, he said he was a slave of Christ, at least in Titus, I believe. Or in Timothy, 2nd, he said he was a slave of God. Right. I believe it is in 2 Timothy. He is a slave of God, an apostle of Christ. Am I right? Titus. Okay, Titus. In Titus, he said he was a slave of God. Right. Look at the Apostle Paul. He was really a slave. He was willing to empty himself. He was willing to humble himself. Am I right? He sacrificed his rank. He sacrificed all his rights, interests for others. No doubt, he just followed the steps of Christ, of Jesus. Jesus was a slave of God. Paul was too. It's quite interesting. This is why the Bible, in the ordinances of the law, put the one concerning slave as the first. Because if we don't have such a basic spirit, we cannot keep the ordinances. If you are going to keep all the foreign ordinances, everyone needs you to be a slave. If you read in the common messages, I may point out, I tell you, at least in the ordinances, you have these two things. God told Israelites, if you see one cattle of your enemy is lost, and you pick it up, you have to return that to your enemy. Would you do it? Another case that if you see a cattle of your enemy is being killed, damaged, you better help to rescue that cattle for your enemy. Could you do it? You couldn't do it. Why? Because you are not his slave. Suppose you are a slave, you would do it. Who am I? I'm just a slave. A slave serving my master. Who is my master? God. And who are the children? God's people. God's people. And this Israelite, yes, he is an enemy to me, but he's one of God's people. I love my master, and I love his people. So what? So I have to do my slave's job. I have to fulfill my slave's duty. I just illustrate a little bit to show you. If we are not a slave, if you are not a slave, and I am not a slave, who can keep all these ordinances? Right? When I see my enemy's cow is being drowned, I say, hallelujah. That's God's punishment. And he was mean to me. Now, God has a way to judge him. Right away, I'm not a slave. I'm something else. Claiming. I'm right. Demanding. Now you understand. Right? Now you understand. Well, as long as you understand this, okay, let's calm the problem and see a little bit.